Is sorted out, we're all underway, we're ready for the action. Snods, why don't you take it away for the first game of week 3 at the Gfinity Elite Series.
2 versus 2 now, kits on both players. Just a Molotov onto Smoothie, but Freddy B pushes through the fire and flames. A fight poster. Fast reply there from Lazza in the 1 versus 1.
See how they are going to be able to play this one out. Lazza has to fall back. This is going to be a tight 1v1 to play with. He has a little bit of utility, but he has to use it sparingly. Smoothie, meanwhile, just scoped in, trying to play contact with the AWP, hoping that Lazza's going to peek into his crosshairs, and he can't dispatch of the man. Molotov goes down early. Smoothie going to attempt to reposition as well, as Lazza still plays it smart, just hold his ground. Molotov to try and force him to not go for the defuse right now. Smoothie being toyed with a game of ring around.
Freddy B can salvage that and try and cause havoc into this round. Lazza though peeks out, Smoothie wins the duel finally. Seems like the AWP versus AWP battle has been heading towards his B site.
Aggressive pixel angle and play there. Smoothie tries to keep it going as well and finds that follow-up frag on towards JK. The scary factor is, Snods, they can recover those weapons. Barbar's here. They can either try and go for that double AWP setup or scavenge the rifle that Jake dropped.
Exactly that. Double AWP play now. We saw Barbar have a 3K into the previous round. Can he repeat that? 3 versus 5. Maeve there. Is he back towards connector? Where is Maeve? Maeve is towards that A site. Triple boxes. So Freddy B peeks out, does link up when Dansky has the information he needs. It's going to be a 5 versus 3. One of these players as well on the T side, such low HP. Maeve towards Triple has to get all the information he can before falling down. He has no Kevlar and just a P250.
Play around this, spots out the leg of Boaster, gets an early tag onto him, just trying to take the fight, but the thing is, Connor's there as well. Luckily enough, Smoothie's able to come over with the AWP, and they pick them off without any casualties on the side, Snods, so it just falls into Wendansky. Smoothie runs around like a lunatic.
Going to be a B execute here with the smoke towards heaven and the double flashbang.
Committing to the push now as well as they want to take that short control. The smoke does come over as they funnel their way through. They need to try and get that bomb down off the back of this, but they take the fight, and Wendansky actually gets the opening frag. Jacob as well comes into the fold as he punishes Barbar. There's only 3 Ts left, and they're dropping by the second as Wendansky does so much damage, but Freddy B, he's in a prime time angle, strikes to find 1 frag, hungry for more as he's struggling to connect the shots. He will perish, and that is going to be the first round taken by XL. Up nice close, try and rip his way through with the AK. Meanwhile, Boaster finds the head of Smoothie as well, dispatched him. This is looking good so far for XL. There are signs of it actually starting to chip away though. If they can keep hitting it, they're finding these small chinks in the armor. They can keep trying to play their way through, but Boaster could be so huge. Just needs to play off audio cues. Luckily enough, he was blind, so Freddy B can take him down. They do start to fall. It all comes into the hands of Connor, and Freddy B will pull off the retake.
Alright, so as you've just seen some of the highlights for that XL versus Epsilon game, it was a 2-0 victory to Epsilon. They basically took the Mirage 16-10 and they took Overpass 16-10. For me, if I'm XL right now, I'm going to be really frustrated because like they've now lost 2 games, they've drew 1. And it's their 3rd defeat on Mirage that they've had throughout the tournament already, so it's definitely a map they seem to be a bit unlucky on, and the reason why I'm saying unlucky is just because of a lot of the games that they've lost so far have been really close. It's not as if they've been dominated or at any point, it's just certain things where they just haven't got that final clutch or they haven't been able to see some rounds. There's still things they need to improve on without a shadow of a doubt, but every game is reasonably close for them. So the good thing is for them to work forward is that there's so many things that they can do better, and that I know that they will be able to sort out as well. So very unlucky from them so far, but without a doubt they've got the quality in there to be able to see some results come through over the next weeks that are coming up. For the Epsilon side, I think they're going to be really happy just because of the fact that they've managed to actually get their 2-0 victory, having previously drew with Method and with Reason. So yeah, from an Epsilon standpoint, it's good. I mean, the other good point for me to actually see from the Epsilon standpoint is you've got Freddy B, you've got Barbar, you've got Cosmine, all fragging really well. So even from a Smoothie perspective, it's as much as I really want that kid to do well, but it's very good to kind of see him in a team environment where they're keeping up the pace with him, as opposed to where you've seen it with him on UK teams and it's just the Smoothie carry. So great to see a lineup with a bit more equal talent across that one. But yeah, so great result for Epsilon. Very happy with the 2-0 victory. I imagine XL got a few things to work on, but I'm sure they'll be able to pick up some results going forward.
How well this unfolds. Reason, of course, going to start out on the CT side. Infused, if I'm not mistaken, won the knife and actually chosen to go T. So look,
a little bit unexpected. But T's now in an after plant position. Bomb down. They have 3 rifles versus the 1 on Aaron, who has picked up the kit. MCK also has himself a Molotov to be thrown in, but it's not going to do anything. All the players are just waiting down Banana. This strategy is just cruel to clear it out, so difficult. But Aaron has managed one, but there's so many angles to check. They're pretty much going to have to try and go for the defuse, and MCK, well, he was the one with the kit anyway. So him right.
They should be fine, just sat here. And here we go. There's the first shot. Here comes a push, and the punish should have been there. Maybe a little more from Aaron, but Fry gonna give everything he has for this one, but down to 2 players now for the T side, and that mid split could still be potent. 24 seconds, but they don't have the bomb.
Yeah, the late push from Cray being absolutely crucial. 15 seconds up on the clock though, and if Red Snake can just drop this bomb, it could completely change things. He hasn't spotted the head, does the damage at least, very low on HP, but doesn't win the duel. 23 between them. 22 in fact. And MCK now to try and turn this tide. He has the advantage of HP by quite a margin, finds one of these players and things quickly turns. He's actually going to throw the smoke onto the bomb, and Cray's just round the corner but misses. Just
He does the job. Wait and see this guy do something of that caliber. By now you can see the fight back comes in. Good trades, but Trials is in a great position.
Yeah, only 25 seconds left on the clock as well as they make their way up of ramp. There's a player in connector, but they haven't spotted the default player. However, it's just a quick trade. Once again, going for this, and Cray's found 2. His teammate may be low HP, and that's the bomb drop. There's only 10 seconds left!
Oh, but Karma again strikes.
Yeah, he's managed to get himself a couple in this round, but they need to do more, and they've got 20 seconds left to play with. Karma peeks out. He gets another, and one more from Cinder. It's all on to Aaron. 15 seconds left on the clock. Not going to be able to deny the plant, but holds the angle, gets the first and the second as well.
Okay, so for game 2, it was indeed Infused versus Reason. Infused managed to pick up the 2-0 win. I mean, don't get me wrong, Infused, I'm more than certain that they would have been confident about taking this result going into it. Reason would have probably been confident as well. However, Reason did have a Mace filling in for Thomas, who will be absent from week 3 and week 4. So that's a big loss from them because of the firepower that Thomas does bring. Definitely one of the best players over the last like 6 months to a year in terms of how much he's come on and improved. So definitely a big loss for them. But yeah, across the 2 maps, I mean, both were reasonably close. Reason were definitely fighting for it. From the Infused side's perspective, then Aaron starting to show that bit more consistency of kind of where he might have been like towards the end of last year, so to speak. Trials coming through really well as well, so it was a really good performance from Trials, so hopefully that can continue. I'm sure Infused will be happy with that one. But then on the flip side for Reason, it was good to see Hoodlum actually coming up there, as you can tell from the stats overall, with a positive KD. I mean, obviously there's been loads of talk about how effective IGLs are essentially in terms of from a fragging potential, so good to see Hoodlum kind of settling it in there and actually getting a decent KD out of it. But obviously KD isn't everything. A bit unlucky from Reason. They are now on 2 defeats and 1 draw, so they definitely need to start picking up some results, especially with Thomas absent from next week as well. It's definitely looking a bit tough from the Reason side, but for sure they have got the potential to do well, so hopefully they can pick up some results.
Thank you very much. Jackie, Snods, take it away. This is the big match, Endpoint versus Method.
You know, with just a CZ towards B main. Could go for the double fake as well. But it's looking like Method are waiting for some CT aggression. They want to go to the site where they get the next kill. If they catch Pickles here towards this A site, which they don't because he finds the kill on Tachenko and puts us into a 4 versus 4. But they are slowly pinching this A site from Highway and Squeaky.
Pickles needs to do more as well. He knows the location of Stanley, but he has to get that frag to actually put them in more of a manageable spot. Right now, this does favour the T's in the position they're in. Pulse coming out as well, trying to do some damage, but actually loses his head instantly. Pickles, a big nuisance on the bomb site. Imi comes over to help him as well, and Pickles just tearing his way through them as they push in. Great work with the Famous. Will punish everyone. It falls towards Weber, but Cryptix peeks out and says hello, finds the kill with a UMP, and they also get the extra cash off the back. Be a different round here. There is no more chances, Snods. This is it. 1 round away from Endpoint claiming match point, and it is that aggressive play towards B. Pulse is going to miss the opening shot as he struggles to connect it, but will be able to redeem himself. Finds skill towards Jess. There's the follow-up as well. Takes down Pickles. Method, though, into this one, playing it slow. The old split and pick coming into effect. Imi actually does go for the phase from connector. Doesn't quite spot anyone out.
He doesn't indeed. So, Method, change of plan here. And actually, Pickles and, Max is rotated towards window, and now it's Pickles with the M4 towards that B side, so they are changing their CT defense.
This is good as well from him. He gets the opening frag. If he would have gotten a follow-up, that would have been huge, but he doesn't need to when you've got Jesp on your side. Rips his way through the Swedish superstar, starts to get some energy bar to effect as well. Just going for the pre-fire, keeping him at base. Imi can strike in as the Overwatch team. Everyone is falling. It's just left on Weber. Leaps up into the elevated angle. The Molotov will go down, but Max just extinguishes it. And Weber, he's going to be so frustrated in this position. It's not so many angles to clear. Will clear one though, peeks out, lops the head off Imi, makes the situation slightly more manageable, but surely this is too far gone. Look at the bomb drop.
Exactly that. Amy has an up as well. He can scope towards the bomb. Yes! It's peeked out. Smoke does fade. Max does fall as well. Weber now 5 HP in the 1 versus 2.
Weber still consistently finding frags, but he's just too low now. It's going to be so awkward. They have to get the drop on them and get some very sexy kills to actually pull this back as he finds the headshot towards Jess. It's ridiculous that somehow Weber is making this manageable. He is the clutch man, rolling back the years, always so incredible in these situations, but Pickles will...
So going into the game 3, it was indeed Endpoint versus a Method. It was probably a result that was not expected before the game, but I'm sure Endpoint will be over the moon with the 2-0 victory that they've managed to seal out. First map, it was an overtime win on Cash, 19-17, and it was a 16-13 on Mirage. So it's definitely something that the Endpoint are going to be over the moon with, to be able to pick up their first win of the Elite Series overall for a 2-0 victory, that is. So yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Method are probably going to be slightly disappointed. Everyone kind of thinking that they were going to be the strongest UK team going into it, and they haven't really had the performances so far to justify it, which is slightly disappointing. But I'm sure just because of the talent on that lineup that they will be able to pick it up soon enough. But yeah, I mean, overall, especially if you're looking at the KDs, I mean, it's kind of what I mentioned within the Reason one earlier with regards to Hoodlum. Imi just showing up, and especially in recent weeks, his fragging ability has started to really come back, and he's starting to show up a lot more, which especially as an IGL is just not something that you see that often. So props to him, props to Endpoint for being able to seal this out and get that 2-0 victory. So definitely going forward for them, hopefully they can take some momentum and take it into the future weeks as well.
Guys, I'm going to leave it in your capable hands. This is a great matchup. It's Team EnVyUs versus Prophecy. I'll leave it to you, Pansy and Tom Biz.
But we get to see if the Academy team have got it perfected. Either way, Jax is going to be the first guy on site, the only rifle, and already Kolor starting off with those pistols. Once again, he's got himself 3, Arch with another, and, well, Haji, you got an MP9, 4 players to find, and you're smoked off. He's got Mr. Krabs for company, though.
Shows a little leg. Haji's going to have him. Nothing more though. Color there going to shut it down, and this is the problem. If you go on those investments, you do have rounds to play with, sure, but you also just want to close out the game. Goes in timing. Oh, it's lovely, Arch. He gets picked up 10 seconds now. They've got to go for this. Bomb's going to go in, but they can isolate these players. They can work quickly. Slap knows he has to play bodyguard here. High flash allows for Kola to play out from this one, and he's going to do it. He takes the fight. Dangerous times, a trade. And now 1v1 Lambert up against Slap.
He's got the AWP. Doesn't actually know where Slap is, but could have seen the direction of the gun. He's just going to go straight for the defuse. Peeks out and missed shots from a lot more difficult for this CT side. And they're not looking good. Their facial expressions tell a much bigger story. Well, maybe not so much than the scoreline, but Slap is going to be pushing back in. Skell doesn't have much support, so it's now all going to go down to Lambert, the clutch king, the maestro of the previous map. He gets the first, looking for this second to keep the clean sweep going and get...
It's performances like this, though, where it all goes right. And look at this, they're confident, why not?
So Envy have got me fired, pretty much. Look at now, this is just... Okay, we've just crushed you in 1 round.
They're doing it, they're going to make it hurt.
We're going for the flawless half.
Oh.
BKL just pushing through. It's like, okay, where's your first map now? Is he just going to continue this aggression? What do you even do against this? 3 kills in the round.
So the final game of week 3 was indeed Prophecy versus EnVyUs Academy. Ended up being a comfortable 2-0 victory for EnVyUs. It proved most of the desk wrong on the analyst desk, excluding Pansy in the predictions, with the rest of them going for a 1-0 draw overall, and Pansy going for the 2-0 to EnVyUs. But to be fair, based upon how Prophecy have handled themselves so far, the predictions weren't exactly out of the blue. It was a 16-10 victory on the first map, which was Cobblestone. And then what happened on Cash for Prophecy was just insane. They just got absolutely destroyed, in fairness, without sugarcoating it at all. EnVyUs just steamrolled through it, and it's definitely going to be one for Prophecy to forget overall. Even going through like the kind of quality and KDs of who was on the EnVyUs Academy, everyone was coming up trumps, everyone performed well. Prophecy, it just didn't quite mesh out for them. But I mean, even in the games beforehand, even before the game, sorry, it was stated, and to those that weren't aware anyway, like EnVyUs Academy, in terms of who they scrim and the quality of teams that they scrim, is probably above potentially some of the other teams that are participating in the Gfinity Elite Series of the quality of practice that they're getting. So it is definitely going to help EnVyUs in the way that they are doing it, and they have been together for a bit longer than especially what that Prophecy lineup, which is kind of a ragtag team that's kind of been bundled together, and so far they've proved themselves to be doing really, really well. However, this week it's just going to be one to forget for them, and hopefully from their perspectives going into the next week they can just forget what happened this time and just move forward going with it. Okay, so rounding out the video, we will just have a quick rundown of the league table for CS so far. Do bear in mind that because of the way that the Elite Series works with the two other games in Rocket League and Street Fighter, that the overall standings are affected by each and every game. So even as it stands, if EnVyUs were to win the CSGO side of things, then depending on what the results from other games were, they might not necessarily win the whole tournament. So it does depend on how each organisation's teams perform in every game. However, going through the league table, EnVyUs 3 for 3, solid in every single game so far. No one looks ready to kind of knock them off the pedestal. However, it's CS, anything can happen. We will see going forward. Prophecy, besides the defeat and the kind of slightly embarrassing defeat, shall we say, to EnVyUs, especially on Cash, then there are 2 wins and 1 loss thus far, but it still keeps them in second because of the 3 points gained from each victory that they earned beforehand. Then we get the rundown, so we get Epsilon, who have got 1 win and 2 draws. You've got Endpoint, who have got 1 win, 1 defeat and 1 loss. Infused, the exactly same as Endpoint. And then you've got Method, who are on 1 loss and 2 draws. Not in a position where they would be expecting themselves to be, but they're not performing badly by any means. They've just got some things that they need to work on. And then you've got Excel and Reason with 2 losses and 1 defeat each. So both, like, from both of their perspectives, they do need to start picking things up, as it's not gone too well for them as it currently stands. However, as I've always said, anything can happen in CS. There's definitely, even for the teams that you look at that are in the bottom half of the table, they definitely have the ability to be able to turn things around, and there's so many more fixtures to be played, so anything can happen with the remaining games. Definitely got lots of exciting CS to continue happening. Loads of decent content coming out of Gfinity as well regarding everything CS related and the teams and players playing within it. So yeah, hopefully it'll be greater as it goes forward onto week 4, but that will be the end of the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hate, whatever it is you feel like doing, and that will be the end of the video. So peace.